And yeah, so Black resigns, Leo wins the 2023 UVHS Chess Championship. Checkmate, Harry wins the third game. He keeps himself in the title fight. Never back down, never what? Never give up. That completes. Welcome everyone. This is the fourth game of the best of four match between the two finalists of this year's Chess Championship, between Leo and Harry. If you joined us last week, Harry cut down his deficit from 2-0 just to 2-1. He keeps himself in the title fight. But can he win once again this week? But first, to recap what's happened last week, it was a great standard play from both players. I really do say that. We'll just go back and just see what happened. So, a standard opening between the two players. Move on a bit to the first sort of mistakes, blunders, perhaps, in a way. Moving this knight back for Harry. I questioned this during the live stream, and well, he did have some other plans in the end. Bringing eventually this knight here. Because then a brilliant move from Harry saw him attacking this queen and this pawn twice as well. And eventually, in the end, after a little bit of back and forth tussles, and some more brilliant moves, turned out not to be for Leo, as practically this game was lost. In the end, Harry simply won, making a new queen in the process and checkmating right on the board. But we move on now to the fourth game, and let's get them started. Yeah, so if one of you want to like go just to the other room there where we were before. Yeah, just to get started.
Who? Is Harry the...
And correction, it is actually Harry playing with the white pieces. And we start e4, e5, knight f3,
Right, sir.
knight c6.
It's the final, yeah. The final game before finals.
c3 once again. I think this was the same game that was played in the second game of the match. It's going so far. And that ended in, well, quite some fireworks at the end. Now we're expecting a move like queen e2, moving this to the center, just to defend this pawn for a bit. So you do have the option of just pushing this pawn anyway. Nope, not there, just to here instead, which is fine. Totally fine. And remember that both sides have 10 minutes on the clocks, with the time going down only on their move. So think of it as like their time to think and decide what to do. If you run out of time, you lose. So that's why you've got to keep track of your time during the match or the game. Now there's two options here. You can come here and check the king, put in a temporary attack for now, or just take this pawn if you're feeling a little greedy.
Okay, Michael? Yeah. Like what one will stay high. Okay, actually do a Michael somewhere. Like that. Oh, I see it.
Or he decides to push this here. This may seem slow for the initial few moves. We're only move 6 right now, but eventually this will pick up the pace as if, well, both players are going to be draining their times quite a lot. So remember, well, a lot of the fans here for Harry, he's playing as the white pieces on the left of your screen, and on the right is Leo, the defending champion. Yeah, yeah. So Harry's playing as with the white pieces. You can, yeah, you can see. Both of them like their Pepsi Maxes actually, as we're just saying for the Year 7 remarking. At this point, we should probably have a sponsorship from either of those companies. But it's probably against the rules or something like that. It is probably not the best idea to promote these kind of things, after all. Right, 93. Does he have to take, is the question. You can, with the only option really being to take with this pawn here, but... And it does reinforce the centre quite a lot with this nice little diagonal pawn chain. As the queen moves down here... Hang on, is that an advantage for Harry? It is. By a slight amount, yeah. You can come round here as well, just sit by the side here, just so you can be heard by the microphone if you wanted to, yeah. The only risk now I can see is if Harry does move this bishop out here, which there doesn't seem to be much point, to be honest, maybe it's to here, this queen can soon come in and take this pawn. Now, pawns might not be too important right now, but later in the game, when most of the pieces have been traded off, that pawn can make the huge difference. There it is. Now, in some positions, however, taking this pawn is actually a bad idea. It is often referred to as a poison pawn, if you're wondering. But this does make a threat already that this knight can be taken. Yep, a question. Go on, yeah, just very quickly, so we don't lose track.
It's a draw, like it's 2-2 at the end of the game.
Yeah, so very good question. So if Harry wins this game to make the score 2-2, yep. So yeah, so if Harry wins this game, which hopefully he does, to make this, well, best of 4 game 2-2, is one last game next week to decide it all. It's a sudden death game. Now, draws are a thing in chess, actually. So if a draw happens next week, I'll explain what happens. So it looks like he has taken this and taken back with the bishop. Now attacking this queen. Move this queen out the way, either back to here. Maybe back here. So you do eventually have some pressure on this pawn here. I did move back, yep. Keeping with my idea. It's back to Leo's move once again. Yeah. It moves bishop e2 here. Now, it's gonna have to be spinning really quick.
Yeah, yeah. Bad one drop back down. Top down. No, last one.
So it looks like both sides have castled, and so he's brought his bishop here. Both sides have castled together, so get rid of that pin at least. And it's back to Leo's move once again. So that's the position updated as far as I can see. Now what's Leo going to decide with this bishop here? So he's decided instead to bring this up for some reason that we can't understand right now. It does add another defense to this bishop, so he does not have the obligation to take it immediately. Harry does trade off. He could trade off, actually. It's, yeah, probably best if you do take with a pawn. The only danger I can see now is this pawn here becoming a liability in the future. So if this pawn is pushed to maybe break down the top of this chain here. You do not want to let him take it here because you immediately then break the chain into two isolated pawns. They will become very, very weak targets in the future. You don't want that. You do have the option instead. Oh, it's a sudden death one. So like, yeah, yeah. So it's So that like the ones we did last year in the knockout tournament where they bid a time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and how much time they want to give up. If you give up more time, you play with the black pieces. The reason why you'd want to play with the black pieces is if there's a draw happens, they automatically win. Right. So a move's been played once again. Let's see what it is. Don't think there's any move being played. What does Harry for? He's taking the pawn. And you are obliged to take back. Whoops, with this.
Go on, Harry.
Taking back once again. This seems like a very slow game, to be honest, right now. Both players taking their time quite nicely. And he moves his knight up to start an attack, so he's... So, okay, so it's a clear threat, where really the only move is to just move this pawn here to stop this queen from ever looking at this square here. Now, at least there is no bishop on these dark green squares here, at least, where it could just land here and make a sort of a mating nest long term. Now, good tactic so far, but remember, Harry needs to win this somehow. But as the saying goes, champions find a way. Now, it seems pretty pointless having this knight here right now. So you could bring it back at some point. Keep it there. Just move it to the center here. So he could land here with a check at some point. As a little bit of a threat if he's not if Leo's not careful. But this is brought down here, so there is a pin right now. So this knight is pretty much immobilized. Except it can go for a quick check, as it forces the king to move, perhaps. And this queen can move to safety here, perhaps, to defend the knight that would be in the square eventually. But the sensible thing to do, yes, is to get out that pin and perhaps bring this bishop here. And then it's clear now that this pawn is a target right now. So an idea perhaps is to bring this rook over, or this one. I would bring this rook over, so you could keep this file for this rook, as you would eventually want to boot any of these two pieces off this file. So as just a little note to all the spectators here, if the number that you see just on around here, if it's, well, between -1 and 1, it's not really much of an advantage for either side, to be honest. It's quite even. Not much. It's not a big... White is winning. Yeah, white. That's so. Yeah, white.
To play.
But if it's one of your
I don't know right now why it feels a bit. It doesn't feel tense as last time. It feels quite chilled, to be honest. Maybe that nothing much is happening. No, nothing much is happening right now. It's this. He opts for Queen A5, which is best move on the according to the engine, and attacks this knight. Obviously, he can bring something else to defend it, but this could get undermined so at some point.
Sorry, defended by the queen.
Yeah. Eventually have some sort of ideas of going for after this square here, but he brings it back. And before you're thinking right now, if you could be greedy and take this pawn, that's an absolute, really, really bad mistake. Because this can be taken here with check, forcing you to move this king, and you lose the queen. So this is why, as well, these are the things you've got to think about when you're starting to play chess. The first thing you think about is not always the best. Going for greedy things like this, not a good idea. Anyways, he brings the bishop back to defend this knight long term. And now there isn't any prospects of checking, taking and checking at the same time. And he does move this knight here and offers a trade of queens. I think this is going to be a bit of a turning point right now because Harry knows he must win to keep this title fight alive. Trading queens would, in doing so, would make this game more likely a draw. But I don't think we've been to much of an end game where both sides have, let's say, a rook, some pawns, something like that, and then mistakes can happen quite easily. He does trade the queens. Will this be the right choice? Sorry, wrong move. Wrong move. He does take with the bishop and then moves his knight here. Let me just check.
Yeah, stop messing about.
Ah, yeah. So he has moved up the rook to defend this pawn here at least. He has moved this here to at least defend, but I think Leo has time to just. Okay. And yeah, he's just more obliged to take this now and ruin Leo's pawn structure. Now, this is important now because this is an easy target now. You could land this rook right in this. Well, not here, obviously, because that's defended. Bad idea. It does move up this king towards the center and offers a trade of rooks. Think from what I can see, it's been traded off. If I can keep up so fast with all these moves here, and we are heading into an endgame by the looks of it. Okay, c4. Going after this pawn now. Clear attack. As you can see by the red arrow, just automatically drawn for me. Very nice. Thank you, computer. And I think, yeah, d5 is a good idea to perhaps have a little outpost for this rook and to check it as well. But, of course, this pawn is defending it. Don't do that. But, again, great idea, and it does keep it defended. Oh, this is a good tactic, actually. You can't, you think you'd win a free knight, but you'd lose his bishop anyway. And eventually you do have threats of mates on the back rank. He's going for this pawn as well. Going here, back, and b6 to make sure this pawn doesn't drop off so suddenly. And it's an aggressive f4. And there's no bishops, at least on the black side, that could check this king, but Moves this here. There's a nice outpost now. And he decides to trade off the knight and bishop. I'm not sure about this. I personally would have liked bishops to be kept. Because after all, they are quite long range pieces compared to the knights. And he drops back down, defending against any checks. And he comes down to the 4th rank. Moves. Both sides defending now. This is very, very fast paced. Thank goodness I'm actually keeping up with the moves this time. And to be honest, I can expect either side now to bottle it. Whether it's Harry or Leo. These things have happened before.
No.
I think he's moved that. And he's taken the... Oh no. What's his idea? Right. I'm not sure. Have I lost track or something? Because this is now down here. I don't think that's been pushed here. So he's gone here, checked, brought this back down. I don't want to see a repetition at all. I don't want to. This isn't good for Harry if he wants to keep winning this. Both kings moving towards the pawn from what I can see. I think. But he goes for the... Is he going for the other pawn now? I think that's been traded off now. This is pretty much an end game. And is he just nicked? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on now? Let's just go. Oh, is it past pawn? But there's also 2 pawns on the other side as well. We're just going to refer to the camera right now. No, it isn't. Hang on, hang on. Ignore the analysis board now, because now it's a draw. The final game is the draw. That means, unfortunately, by the skin of his teeth, Leo has won the championship for the 2nd year in a row. I think that decision earlier to trade off the queens was not the best idea. The hearts of the year 7s are broken. I think I haven't been able to follow the moves correctly in some way.
Leo won. All right, yes. I'm here for you.
My oh my. What a season it's been. It's ended just now, as we thought it was going to go for another game. Perhaps maybe one of you all should take Harry's legacy and become champion in a few years' time. But as he never said, never back down, never give up. But it's Leo's time once again. He wins the championship with 2.5 points to 1.5 points, and avoiding the scary prospects of a tiebreak game. Now we'll be going to the other room now to speak to them for an interview. with Leo winning his second title in a row. Just a few seconds. Just bear with me. But right now, just gonna go enjoy some new graphics.
Yes, Michael. Turning up.
But you won by draw. Yeah. No, I'm joking.
Correction, I need to update that to be honest.
Actually, could you grab that for him, please? Of Leo on it. You see that sheet that's
This
coming
one?
up? Yeah, yeah.
Harry, how'd you feel? It's a bit boring actually. Boring. Okay. Nothing exciting. I thought you were gonna have it. Me and Leo both said there was one.
microphone is hot.
Time for the interview once again with the two finalists. This is the final one of the season, and let's get the cameras set. There we go. Okay, first up we have our once again champion for the second time, back to back now.
So you invited the cringy guy. You invited this prank
Oh,
guy.
sorry, I was busy reading. I didn't notice I was being interviewed.
Where'd the microphone come from?
Uh, yeah, it's nice to win again. Two-time. My name will be up on a trophy twice now. Wherever that trophy is. I don't think my last year was added to it. But yeah, overall the game, kind of wish it was more decisive. I wish it wasn't a draw. That was maybe a chance for me to win. That was definitely chances for him to win. But yeah, I kind of wish it wasn't a draw just because it would make it more interesting. I wanted it to be more definitive.
Oh, there you go.
Well. Okay. And yeah, we'll stay up here for a bit. Yeah, we've got plenty of time for the interview. But, well, how can you summarize what a season it's been? Well, from the start, the Open, to, well, the moment till now.
Yeah, it's actually been a pretty good season. Every single game I've lost this season has been to Harry. I have not lost to anyone else, and every game he's lost has been to me, which yin and yang situation. Okay, can't have one without the other. Yeah, it's just over good season, you know. Although way too many rounds. I don't even know when this started anymore. Okay, I think it's been going on for like 6 months now. That is shocking. I probably could have been revising.
Well, perhaps, for the future of chess in this school, since, well, you are leaving for university, we don't know which one yet. We are still waiting on decisions, but do you have any suggestions perhaps for the format? Should the season be this long after all? Like to have a really rigorous selection to become champion?
I think it's up to the lower years to decide. I don't think it should definitely be like a group decision if there's enough people who want to play it, of course. But yeah, a lot of the year 13s are leaving, so
Every one of them.
not every one of them. A bunch of people are repeating.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Okay, I know like four.
They won't be year 13s anymore then, would they?
What would they be then?
Year 14s.
They're still gonna go to the year 13 assemblies.
Well, maybe.
Anyways, so yeah, uh, most of the year 13s are leaving, so a lot of the chess players, that's are going because it is mostly year 13s who are playing chess currently. But you know what? I saw a lot of excitement in for chess in that room. Play chess during school. Play chess during your lessons. It is productive, and you should do it.
All the words of the new back-to-back champion, Leo LB. Now for our runner-up of this year's championship, Harry. Well, I don't know. Just first thoughts, maybe for the fans, perhaps, or well, yeah, the fans.
Oh, it's a sad loss, but at the end of the day, it's unfortunate, and yeah, a bit boring. Wish I could have given the fans a bit of competition here. 1 point, and it wasn't even because like I lost that last game. It's because it was a draw. That's just boring. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you go.
Looking back in the season, perhaps, well, what would you say is the best bit of it?
Um, the best bit of the season. I don't know. It'd have to be between like no, I'd say it was like the first like 6 rounds where the games were not difficult at all. I'm sorry to all the people that played in that, but get on my level. I'm better. And so is Leo. Leo's better. Yeah, apparently. But
Factually.
factually, he said. Yeah. I don't know. There wasn't much effort going on there, and it was nice because I could relax. With this, I actually had to play, so I'd say, uh, yeah, that was the best part.
Would you have done anything differently to, well, if you had the chance to go back once again and do this again?
Play Chester in the first 2 rounds.
Well, I would say, yeah, play Chester in the first 2 rounds. Leo just said that. If the mic didn't pick it up, that he said that. But yeah, way too many rounds. I've got to agree. Like this should not have gone on as long as it should have. Like, come on, come on, Matthew.
Are you also going to chess after this? What is
Maybe.
temporarily?
Or at least temporarily, yeah.
Well, going off after like the season being a bit too long, which bit do you suggest we drop, perhaps?
Um, well, I'd say like if we just did like the first like the qualifiers, like the 6 rounds. Is it 6, 8 rounds?
Next round, yeah.
6 rounds, and then we just went into like a when the everyone plays everyone situation, and then kick everyone out. And whoever like won, like say if you lost, you then got kicked out, and then the last person wins or something like that. I don't know. A bit like last year. What was it? We did
It's a double
the playoffs, and then we did the eliminations. We should have just done that instead of going for like a final as well.
Right. So like more like the knockouts, not the like the rounds robin instead, perhaps.
Yeah, just the round robin. Yeah, just like literally just the round robin. I think that would have been perfectly fine. I'd that yeah. And then that wouldn't have gone into like so close to A levels.
And for both of you to actually answer these, you can bring up your Pepsi Max as well,
Yeah, no
Leo.
worries.
Yeah, the drink of a champion.
Oh yeah.
If you just shuffle a bit more to the left. Yep. Okay. Good.
And that, yeah.
We should be using the plain background, to be honest. Well, after you two leave, who do you think would be the next champion next year? Assuming that like whoever you're thinking of would be staying here like again for sixth form, whatever.
Well, I think my opinion. Uh, I think that either Fred, if he decides to play next year, he's pretty good. And if he actually goes here next year, I don't know if he's leaving or anything. I assume not. I don't know why. I don't know him that well. But yeah, Fred, I'd say he's pretty good. Or Annika. I'd say Fred or Annika because they're both like 1,200 or something.
Yeah, I I wouldn't put Fred in there just because he hasn't played for quite a while, and he has properly given up chess, and I respect that. After this, I'm planning on giving up chess. You will not catch me on my 200-day streaks on chess.com anymore. Yeah, I'd definitely say Annika's probably our next winner, unless there are some like underground year 12s who just never played, or maybe even like the new year 7s who just got into it. That's prime age to learn chess. Like you will get good at it way quicker than if you learn later on. So, but, like I feel like in terms of next year, who will win it? Most likely be Annika or Mr. Mac. We'll throw a teacher in there for good measure.
I forgot about Mr. Mac.
Same. I only just thought about it right now.
I was only thinking about like students.
Same.
Yeah.
And perhaps, well, the year sevens right now cheering for either of you two, more so for Harry, obviously, but
Discrimination.
yeah. What do you think the chances of them being a champion perhaps next year or sometime in the future? Should they carry on?
What do I think of a year 7 being a champion?
What do you think the chances of them happening, like becoming champion at some point?
Well, I think the chances of them being a champion are like if we put all the year 7s in a room and said, "Oh, yeah, you guys play each other," I'd say the chances are quite high. That well, no, chances are quite like I don't know, even because they're not exactly trained, if you know what I mean. Unless there's like some like grandmaster level year 7s in there, but give it time, in time and dedication. I'd say that the chances of it will increase with the select few year 7s in there.
Are you talking about like natural selection?
Hmm?
Like natural selection.
Yeah, like natural selection.
Nice. I don't think it's really going to be that likely that Year 7 will win, just because, I mean, me and Harry, we have multiple years of this. If a Year 7 starts right now, they probably won't win next year, but they have a decent chance of winning it in Year 9 or Year 10, because they will have the backlog of experience, all the openings, all the middle games, all the end games. They'll Year 7 learn quick, okay? That is prime age for learning chess. So I feel like if they stay committed to it, take the occasional break, fair enough. But like, just put in effort. They have a decent chance of becoming a really good chess player and put us two to shame.
Mm-hmm.
A very big thank you for you two to putting all this time and effort into, well, ever since the start. You've been playing the longest, to be honest, so far,
Yeah.
really. 6 rounds of the Open, the 7 rounds of the Premier League, and the 4 games of the final. Wonder how many hours that must have been, all in all.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, slash Matthew.
I would like to say thank you for Matthew as well for setting this up.
Yeah, editing all the videos, doing putting the posters up and all that, organizing it all with teachers, getting Mr. Mac heavily involved as well. You know what? Thank you. Round of applause.
And that finally concludes the end of the season, 2024 Chess Championship in UVHS. And with that, I hopefully do see you next year. I will be moving off to university. Same with these other two. Well, maybe not. Well, one of the others. But yeah, we'll be going off, and well, I hope this does continue. Whether if I'd be organising it, despite not being in the school somehow, yeah, I will find a way. And again, just a personal message to all those Year 7s: listen to them, please. I think I can see at least 2 of you probably getting to, let's say, the Premier League next year. That's the top 8 of the school. If you put in that work over summer, because you have so much time then.
If any of you want to challenge me, it's Bosky Boy, all one word, BOSKYBOY on chess.com. Challenge me. I'm going to teach them.
And my, what a season it's been. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
I am.